Cannabis Common Sense, the show that tells the truth about marijuana and the politics behind its prohibition.
Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Cannabis Common Sense. All right, we have a great show for you tonight. We have a great hemp news segment, a few stories there, a nice show and tell, as you can see from this assortment here in front of me. We'll be going through a little bit later. Some film clips we'll be showing you. And our band is standing by, the Cannabis Common Sense Show band. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hello, Paul. How are you tonight?
Hi, Paul.
Very well. Tim Pate, Jonathan Eder, doing very well. Good to see you guys. We will be back shortly after we bring on our infamous Dancing Cannabis Leaves. All right, our first story tonight is from Vancouver, British Columbia. Cannabis inhalation is associated with spontaneous brain tumor regression in 2 subjects, according to a pair of case reports to be published in Child's Nervous System, the official journal of the International Society for Pediatric Neurosurgery. Investigators at the British Columbia Children's Hospital in Vancouver, British Columbia, documented the mitigation of residual tumors in 2 adolescent subjects who regularly inhaled cannabis. The authors determined that both subjects experienced a, quote, clear regression, end quote, of their residual brain tumors over a 3-year period. Quote, neither patient received any conventional adjuvant treatment. During this time period, the investigators wrote, the tumors regressed over the same period of time that cannabis was consumed via inhalation, raising the possibility that cannabis played a role in tumor regression. The researchers concluded, quote, further research may be appropriate to elucidate the increasingly recognized effect of cannabis and cannabinoids on gliomas or brain cancer, end quote. A 2006 pilot study published in the British Journal of Cancer previously reported that the intratumoral administration of cannabinoid THC was associated with reduced tumor cell proliferation in 2 of 9 human subjects with brain cancer. Separate preclinical studies assessing the anti-cancer activity of cannabinoids and endocannabinoids indicate that the substances can inhibit the proliferation of various types of cancerous cells, including breast carcinoma, prostate, and lung cancer. Full text of this study, spontaneous regression of septum pellucidum and Niceal-Pacific gastrinomas, possible role of cannabis inhalation, will appear in the journal Child's Nervous System next month. From Trenton, New Jersey, New Jersey state health regulators on Monday selected 6 applicants to grow and dispense cannabis in accordance with the state's nascent medical law. 21 separate applicants had applied for the state's 6 available licenses to sell medical marijuana in the state of New Jersey. The law there was signed into law in January 2010 by former Governor John Corzine. The New Jersey Compassionate Use Medical Act authorizes patients with a physician's recommendation to possess and obtain medical cannabis from state-authorized alternative treatment centers. However, draft rules proposed by the State Department of Health and Senior Services, our DHSS in New Jersey, in 2010 to govern the yet-to-be-established program have been criticized by several state lawmakers as unduly restrictive. Lawmakers have held hearings but have not yet to vote on whether or not to repeal the regulations. Commenting on the applicant's approval, Ken Walski, the executive director of the Coalition for Medical Marijuana New Jersey, or CMMNJ, said, quote, we certainly wish the successful applicants luck because patients need legal marijuana as soon as possible. However, we have serious doubts that these nonprofit organizations will be able to develop a working program with the overly restrictive regulations proposed by DHS. CMMNJ still supports the legislative resolution to invalidate significant parts of the DHS regulations in New Jersey. For more information on this, you can go to The website for CMMNJ, that is cmmmnj.org. Our next story tonight is out of New York City. Criminal justice expenses pertaining to the arrest and prosecution of minor marijuana offenders in New York City cost taxpayers some $75 million a year, according to a report published last week by the Drug Policy Alliance, or DPA, a national drug policy think tank. The report's authored by Queens College sociologists Harry Levine and Lauren Siegel, an attorney formerly with the American Civil Liberties Union. They estimate the criminal justice costs in New York City associated with a single arrest for marijuana possession, including all police and court expenses, is between $1,000 and $2,000 per person. In 2010, New York City police made 50,383 lowest-level marijuana possession arrests involving cases where marijuana is either used or possessed in public. The total is the second highest in the city's history and is an increase of over 5,000% from 1990, when police reported fewer than 1,000 low-level cannabis arrests. The Drug Policy Alliance report states that during Michael Bloomberg's tenure as mayor of New York City, from 2002 through 2010, the New York Police Department made nearly 350,000 arrests for marijuana possession, costing taxpayers $350 million to $700 million. Although simple marijuana possession is a violation and not a crime in New York State, if marijuana is, quote, open to public view, it can be charged as a misdemeanor. Quote, more people have been arrested for marijuana possession under Michael Bloomberg than under mayors Koch, Dinkins, and Giuliani combined, end quote, said the report's co-author Harry Levine. These arrests are wildly expensive and do not improve public safety and create permanent criminal records, which seriously damage the life chances of the young people targeted and jailed. Added Gabriel Sahi, a New York State director for the Drug Policy Alliance, quote, it's beyond hypocritical from the mayor who's once said he smoked marijuana and enjoyed it to make arresting young people of color for marijuana possession his top law enforcement priority, while cutting services for seniors, youth housing, transportation, teachers, education, and more. The mayor spent $75 million last year to arrest over 50,000 people for marijuana possession, when it isn't even a crime under New York law. It's just outrageous. For more information, you can go to drugpolicy.org. That's drugpolicy.org. What they do is, if you have marijuana, the police ask you to show it to them, and once you show it to them, then they arrest you for another crime, which is more serious, and that's public display of marijuana. So once they pull it out of your pocket, then it's publicly displayed as well. And so, though the simple possession of less than an ounce of marijuana in New York is an infraction, they arrest you for the much more serious crime of a misdemeanor for simply once they see it in public view. Anyway, so that's the end of our Hemp News segment tonight. We're going to jump over to Mr. Tim Pate and Jonathan Eder. Good evening again, gentlemen.
Good evening. It sounds like those cops in New York City have found a twist in the law to their advantage so that they can make it worse for you.
They have. It's kind of sneaky.
It is kind of sneaky. I agree. That is a little sneaky. Well, you know, eventually all those people are just going to rise up and say no more.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. We'll talk more about what's going on here in the West Coast and across the country after your musical interlude.
We will talk more about that. Shall we have a musical interlude?
Yeah, that would be lovely.
Okay, let's do that.
I got the wrong damn shit. Azzy. So, welcome back to the show. We'll be taking your phone calls and questions over the next 45 minutes or so. You can call us at 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4448. If you're out there on the internet or you want some of your friends to watch us on the internet, you can point them to our live streaming at ustream.tv. That's the letter U, STREAM.TV. And we'll be streaming there live. We also will take questions that are typed into the chat box there and try to transmit them to me via text messaging while we can answer them, hopefully. We'll try anyway. Welcome to the show again.
Good to
Tim,
be here.
how are you doing tonight?
I'm good.
Sounded real jazzy over there tonight.
That's, I wrote that piece 20 years ago. I used to run a jazz jam down at Joe Federico's in Eugene, and I wrote that for something I did forever ago. And we've been playing music long enough here. We got to pull things out from way back. Sometimes.
Well, that was nice.
I enjoyed that.
With
yes,
Mr. Eater there. On
he
the
has
keyboards.
he has a way with the piano.
Okay.
I enjoy that. I do. You
Me
got some
too.
show and tell tonight. We got a
We
bunch
do.
of
We
stuff
have
here.
a number of interesting items that we've dug up from the cellars, so to speak.
It really got my eye over there. It's very interesting, that cobalt blue bottle. That's
Yeah,
a pretty thing.
cobalt blue bottles meant that it was poisonous to some degree or dangerous, and so they were supposed to grab your eye. And hey, if you're out there and you have a question or comment for us tonight, you can call us. That number that's there on your screen. It's 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4448.
That's funny because now with hand-blown glass, obviously there's a lot of hand-blown glass in the world, and the majority of it, I'd say over 98% of it, turns cobalt blue because they use pure silver in it to get it to change color. And so
I didn't know that.
now most of the glass out there is cobalt blue, or will turn cobalt blue, the borosilicate that changes colors because of that. So it used to be
So
poison.
it's silica or silver?
It's a borosilicate that you use
okay.
pure silver to fume into the glass, and it actually spews pure silver into the glass to make it go cobalt blue.
Nifty.
Yes. It's true.
Well, we have a lot of activity going on at our legislature in all the states that have medical marijuana. And so for wherever you may be located, I would recommend that you contact your state legislature and become involved in the move to keep the new medical marijuana laws sane, because there's a lot of moves out there to restrict states' medical marijuana laws. They came close to overturning the law entirely in Montana, and there's a really good law in Washington State that was amended, and now it's not so good. Hopefully we'll see some of the bad amendments removed. And here in Oregon we have a whole host of bad rules that the legislature is trying to push through, and only one or two good ones. The Oregon Medical Cannabis Research Act, I think, is one of the few good ones out there. So we urge you to contact your state legislators and urge them to make the medical marijuana laws stronger, and not weaken protections or put new restrictions on doctors or anything. We have a phone call. Welcome to the show, caller.
Hello.
Howdy.
Hello, my name's Bongbeth Brian. I'm from Washington.
Good evening.
Hey, well, welcome to the show.
Hey, I wanted to tell you guys how much we think of you and what you're doing. Never miss your program.
Thank you.
It still plays up in. Are you in the Vancouver area?
No, I'm in rural eastern Washington.
Oh, okay. So you're able to watch through Ustream.
Yes.
All right, great.
Well, I wanted to tell you I met Paul, I think, 10 or 11 years ago when I got my first card, and I had no medicine, and he gave it to me. I thought, wow, this is so cool. I met, everybody equates it with money, and I wanted to say that paradigm wasn't lost on me, and I do it now, and it's the most beautiful thing you can do is give it away.
I love giving it away. I grew about, over the past, 5 years, 200 to 250 pounds a year, and I give it all away for free, and I really do enjoy that. It really is a lot of fun.
Oh, I know. It's great.
Yeah.
And the people
and you help
that
a lot
get
of people.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good thing.
They're helped so much.
Yeah. And we try to get out plants to everyone. But did you have any question or anything tonight?
Well, no, I wanted to say that the bad guys often target our heroes, and I know that like Roger Christie and a lot of people, and I know that if they ever target you, all your friends are going to stand behind you.
Well, it's strange you should say that, because are you aware that I've been recently targeted?
Yes, I was,
Yeah.
and I wondered how that
And I've
went.
had a lot of people stand behind me, and I'm pretty confident in our
And sit
ultimate
next to him.
victory. But it's a long, involved story, and the work isn't about me personally. It's really about social and economic justice, and that's what we're here for. And
Right.
so, I think that the recent shenanigans that I've been subjected to are payback for political reasons, and I'm prepared to go toe-to-toe with these fellows. And initially, I'm going to represent myself and make the judge and the prosecutor get to know me personally. So that's part of my strategy.
Well, just
I'm going to get a lawyer later on, though. These things drag on for a long time. I'm expecting this to drag on for at least 18 months.
Well, good luck with it, and Godspeed.
Thanks.
And,
Well, I'm hoping maybe we'll get it thrown out. I did file a motion to dismiss, but we'll see what happens.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, you've done more to legalize and bring about change than most anybody I know. I know you're among a bunch of heroes, but you've done an incredible amount of work to make a change.
I appreciate it. I keep trying, and I enjoy it. And as I've often said here on this show and elsewhere, wild horses couldn't drag me away.
There you go.
Well, Godspeed, my friend.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Call. Thank you for that call.
Fortunately, he mentioned my friend Roger Christie,
Yes,
who's
he
been
did.
locked up in
Yes.
Hawaii since
Yes.
July 8th of last year. Roger Christie has been languishing in jail for no good cause at all.
I agree.
Just because they claim he sold medical marijuana, but this is a 61-year-old honorably discharged veteran who has never previously been charged with a crime.
anything.
Right. And so they're saying the fact that he sold marijuana in a community that had his full support, it made him a danger to the community, and they've locked him up, and they won't allow him bail. They won't even allow him to marry his partner over the past 5 years, Cher St. Cyr, and it's really disgusting. So I send out all my prayers and thoughts for Roger Christie's release and ultimate acquittal as he's fighting the federal government, and terrible charges there.
And our heart goes out to Eddie Lepp, who is still in federal prison,
That's true.
and wish him the best.
And they are representative of tens of thousands of others whose sole crime in the eyes of the law is growing a plant that we hope will save the planet. Saving the plant that saved the planet. That's something Jack Herer told me and taught me long
And week
ago.
by week, when you realize all of the studies that say this is a cancer curing medicine, that you wonder what in the world are these people motivated by? Because
it's about money and power
Exactly.
and the continued centralization of control into the hands of fewer and fewer people. And when we legalize hemp and cannabis, we will turn that around, turn the whole paradigm where we're no longer sending our money to the rich oil companies. We're giving it to the farmers who are producing excess food because they produced energy and hemp seed oil and hemp seed protein and ethanol and medicine and fiber instead of deforestation. It's just a whole paradigm that we hope to change, and we think that we'll start to once we pass the laws to change it. And we are happy to announce that we've just launched our petition campaign. Our petitions were just approved yesterday for circulation to end adult marijuana prohibition here in Oregon. We're trying to put this on the ballot for a vote in 2012. So you know what? If you're out there anywhere, you are welcome to come down to our new petition office at 2712 Northeast Sandy Boulevard. That's 2712 Northeast Sandy Boulevard. And we're going to have a press conference there on Monday morning to kick off the petition campaign. So we're hoping a lot of you will come down to our office and show your support in a press conference to announce the kickoff of our petition campaign. And so that press conference will be at 9:30 a.m. We'd like to see you down at our office at 2712 Northeast Sandy Boulevard at 9:30 a.m. on Monday morning. This coming Monday, the 28th of March here in 2011, and we'll be kicking off our petition campaign to restore hemp and regulate cannabis for adults and allow people to grow their own without a license, fee, or registration. We are happy to take a phone call. Welcome to our show, caller.
Hi, yes. My name's
Hi.
Robert.
Hi, Robert.
Hey, I'm having a hard time finding a local grower.
Uh-huh.
My grower got arrested like 4 months ago, and
I'm sorry to hear that.
Out of jail for a long time. So, and it was
Bummer.
because he was selling what he was growing for me and a bunch of other people.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Well, that's
Yeah,
kind
so
of what
that
happens to
kinda
some of
screwed
them,
me
the
up.
bad ones. You know, I can just say, you know, it's best to start with your family and friends. But if they can't help you, then you can call our office. We'll see what we can do. You can leave a message there at 503-235-4606. Here in the Portland area, that's 503-235-4606. And we'll try to steer you in the right direction as best we can.
Okay, it's 503 what?
It's right there on your screen down there. It's 503-235-4606.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Right on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good luck. I know that's a real problem in today's...
Yeah, it is a problem. It's been a problem for a long time. I've been having to go out and buy it for myself in order to keep my medicine. So.
Yeah.
Which becomes prohibitive. You know, if you have to
too
pay
expensive,
street prices, it's just awful.
Yeah, it is. It's really awful. I mean, and, you know, I mean, I'm getting a good deal from a guy that I get it from. I mean, he gives me quarters for $50. It's not bad, but still, I mean, I shouldn't have to pay for it. I'm willing to help my grower with the fertilizers and the electric bill and
Yeah,
stuff.
as the Oregon law allows. Well, you know, I can't make any guarantees, but we'll certainly try to help you. There are more and more businesses out there helping patients, taking a big risk in doing that.
Exactly.
And we wish them well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you.
You
All right,
bet.
thank you. Thanks for calling. Good luck.
Yeah, very much a typical problem among our
It really
callers.
is. It really is a problem. I would say at least a third of the patients who get a medical marijuana card do not renew their card because they can't solve that problem. And so,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so did they just let it go, and they don't even
They
use
let it
medicine
go,
because
and
they
it just, the
don't feel like it's
program just didn't
necessary?
work out for them. And so that's
news to
often
me.
the case. Yeah. So right there is a list of conditions that in every medical marijuana state qualify in one form or another, often under the heading of nausea and spasms and pain, chronic severe pain, and of course glaucoma, cancer, AIDS, HIV, those kinds of things. A lot of neurodegenerative diseases qualify because they cause dystonic movement and tremors and spasms and seizures. We have another phone call, though. Welcome to our show, caller.
Hi, my name is Daniela,
Hello.
and I'm calling. I've been a card carrier for a number of years, and I heard a rumor today that a dispensary was open in Milwaukee at McLaughlin. Do you know of any dispensaries that are actually open now?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
A lot of them. Not so many as in Portland, but, you know, there are at least a half dozen dispensaries that are open now here in Portland. Now, I'm not familiar with one on McLaughlin, but there could well be one now. More and more of them are opening up all the time. And like I said just a moment ago, you know, they're taking great risk, but if they're providing medicine at a good price and compassionately to patients, then they're providing a service. And I hope that their risk pays off and they're able to remain in business and keep helping people.
Oh, so they're more clandestine operations. They're
You
not
know, some
endorsed
of them
by
are,
normal.
and some of them aren't. You know, there are a lot of new ones out there. I can think of several, couple out at about 60th and Foster, and one just off of 7th and 7th and Hawthorne, and another one up at Burnside and 82nd, and they're all over the place. You know, the Willamette Week about 2 or 3 months ago had an article about them, and it had a map on their website of at least 18 or so around the state.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
So a lot of them provide a social setting for patients and help them get medicine and offer ancillary services like yoga and acupuncture and massage and things like that.
well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, great. Thanks for the info.
Yeah, we've had at least one or two of those businesses here on the show. You know, this show is a non-commercial show through cable access, so we can't actually advertise or anything. But boy, you know, they're out there, and we recommend if you have a medical marijuana card, especially if you can't locate medicine, you should be looking for them and see how they could help. We try to help people through our office, so again, if you want some recommendations, you can leave a message at our office phone at 503-235-4606. There's that number there on your screen, 503-235-4606. Hope that helps.
Really.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Danielle. Thanks for calling. We appreciate it.
You know, we've got good news from Seattle this week as well.
That's true. That is great news.
There-
The
yes.
Seattle Hemp Fest has been approved for its usual time, the third weekend in August, and it's going to expand to 3 days.
Yes, indeed.
So it will start on, what is it, Friday the 20-something. I can't say off the top of my
The
head.
third weekend in August is
Third
always the
in
weekend we
August.
have
Of
it.
course,
so.
for more information, go to hempfest.org. That's
indeed.
hempfest.org.
Yeah, we had to get into a lawsuit with the city, a federal lawsuit, but all of that we would happily set aside based on the certain condition that we get to have our event without them pulling off a construction project right in the middle of main stage area. And so it all worked out in our favor. And
they
the
had the
city is
mayor's
happy
support
too.
and a
Oh,
lot
absolutely.
of different people's support.
Yes.
It's a big event for the economy of
It
Seattle
is.
as well. I
It
mean,
is.
you bring
every hotel room's gone. Every restaurant is we eat up all the food and take up all the rooms, and so why not let us come back? So and they're happy to let us come back, and I'm glad to see that. So everything has worked out. Although now we're scrambling. The crew, the core is.
They couldn't sell booze or make financial arrangements.
No, you can't.
But I'm sure people are coming forward to get their booze as we speak.
It
so
will
if
probably
you're-
happen very
now
quickly.
you know
Yes.
if you're a vendor out there. They
Indeed.
have like 400 vendors or something.
There are, and they fill up pretty quick.
But we get about 100, 120 of those coming to our Hemp Stock Festival here, which is
We do.
gearing up. You've been
on
coordinating
on the
and spending
1st of April. We will
dozens
open up
of hours
that.
every week.
Oh, yeah.
in preparation.
Yes, we're getting ready for that, and it will be a great show this year. And a lot of committees are working diligently. Besides that, we have the contest on Facebook. Excuse me. And so the Facebook contest
your
is
favorite band.
going well. We've got 46 bands on there now in the first month of it, and we've picked up over 2,000 new Facebook friends on our Facebook page. So I'm really pleased to see that continue, and that contest on Facebook will continue until the end of May. And so you have a chance.
That's like 75 new people a day.
We're really having a good chance to expand our presence in the world, and I'm glad to see that, and get to find out who those bands are out there who would like to play with us as well. And so it's your chance to vote. The winner will get $1,000. So you might as well participate in it and find out, just how popular you think you are.
We have a caller who has a question for us. Welcome to the show, caller.
Oh yeah, how you doing?
Good.
Very well. How are you?
I'm all right. My name's Lance. I just moved up here from Salt Lake.
Mm-hmm.
Well, welcome
and
home.
I was a firefighter for a few years.
Right on. My
and I blew
son's
my
done
back
that.
out, my knees out.
Yes.
Now, how do I go about getting a medical marijuana license?
You just, we have a referral for people who are looking for doctors who can help them get a medical marijuana permit. So if you have that need, you can call us at 503-235-4606. That's 503-235-4606. If you're outside the Portland area, we have doctors in 10 states helping patients in 60 different cities all across the United States. So you can call us. In addition to others we can refer you to, you can call us at 1-800-723-0188. That's 1-800-723-0188. And you can leave a message there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and somebody will get back to you in the very near future.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, because I'm always in constant pain, and, I smoke grass constantly. I grow some good grass, and I just don't want to get caught for it,
Yes.
Well, if you're in constant pain, then you definitely qualify for medical marijuana. We'd be happy and proud to help you get that permit and become legal.
Okay. All right.
All right,
Thanks very
for
much.
your call. You have a good night.
You too.
We have a little film clip we're going to be rolling, and we'll be back in just a second to take more phone calls, questions, comments. So stay tuned.
former police officer, I believe that the prohibition of marijuana is one of the most ridiculous abuses of our allocation of police staff and money that we could possibly have.
The great myth of prohibition is that prohibition doesn't mean you control drugs. It means you give up the right to control drugs.
Of course, I don't want to find marijuana in my daughter's room, but I'd certainly not want to see her arrested and with a criminal record the rest of her life.
The most dangerous thing about marijuana is to be arrested for its possession or use.
Welcome to the program. I'm Rick Steves, travel writer and your host. I've found that challenging one's own preconceived notions and engaging in open and honest conversations with others is one of the beauties of travel. In fact, it's fundamental to good travel. Today, I'll take you and our studio audience on a guided tour through the history of this country's marijuana laws. Along the way, we'll learn about the fascinating people and events that are responsible for the marijuana laws we live with today. We'll also hear from scientists and doctors, police officers and judges, and people just like you who are questioning whether those laws are working for us or actually working against us.
I've been a medical marijuana patient for about 2.5 months now. I started using it because of the effects I was having from my chemotherapy and my surgery after my ovarian cancer was diagnosed. I have not taken any opiates in over 2 months. I haven't taken any of their prescribed anti-nausea drugs. Since I've been in chemotherapy, I've had chemo nurses who've asked me that I've told that I was a medical marijuana patient and have asked me for information because they've had other patients ask them and they have no information. I think there's a lot of fear among the medical community. I think there's a lot of misinformation. And it's, because it is the drug war. And a lot of people are just scared of touching it, just want to, distance themselves as much as possible from it just because of the legal issues.
Carolyn lives in one of the 13 states that have passed laws permitting the medical use of marijuana.
Well, if she lives in a medical marijuana state, then why are her doctors and nurses afraid to talk to her about it?
That's a great question, and it's best answered by one of our guest panelists. Joining us are Deborah Small, who's the founder and executive director of the national drug policy organization called Break the Chains, retired Superior Court Judge David Nichols, and Allison Holcomb, director of the American Civil Liberties Union's Marijuana Education Project. Allison, why don't we start with you? Why would Carolyn's doctors and nurses be afraid to talk to her about medical use of marijuana if she lives in a state where it's already legal?
The short answer, Rick, is the federal government. There are now 13 states that have passed medical marijuana laws, but the federal government doesn't recognize them. In those states, patients that want to use medical marijuana are threatened and harassed by the federal government, and the doctors that would authorize it for them are too scared to. For people like Carolyn, it's a very big problem.
And it's really ironic because since 1978, our government has been giving, the federal government has been giving medical marijuana to patients, but at the same time, this federal government is also attacking state medical marijuana laws and the people who choose to try to implement them. It's an incredible hypocrisy that's caused great hardship on a number of people around the country.
Federal drug marijuana laws are not based on science. It's intentional government ignorance, I think, put out there. And Dr. Lyle Craker from the University of Massachusetts at Amherst is involved in a long legal hassle. I finally got a decision allowing him to proceed with his research, but the Drug Enforcement Administration continues to stonewall the research.
We visited Professor Craker, the man at the center of this controversy.
My name is Lyle Craker. I'm a professor at the Department of Plant and Soil Sciences in the University of Massachusetts. Our primary research and educational outreach is in medicinal plants. One of the key plants that we've been working with is black cohosh. Currently, this plant is collected in the Appalachian region and sold commercially as a dietary supplement. for use by menopausal women to relieve the symptoms of menopause. 25 or 30% of the current medicines on the market are plants or plant-derived. I look at marijuana as no different than any other medicinal plant we've worked with. And what we want to do is to do the best thing for the public. And the best thing for the public is to do the research to see, to either prove yes or prove no that this plant material has beneficial health effects. To me, this is no different than anything else we've looked at, except that we're restricted. We can't look at it, and that's the big problem. I think that the point we're getting at is that we only learn about how plants can be used is if we do the scientific research that's necessary. And whether we're talking about black cohosh or we're talking about medical marijuana, we're talking about the same type of procedures that we scientifically need to do.
The first law governing marijuana required all farmers in the Virginia colony to actually grow hemp, the fiber produced by the marijuana plant.
That is an excerpt from the American Civil Liberties Union of Washington's Marijuana. It's time for a conversation, introduced by our friend, Mr. Rick Steves. We hope to have him here on the show sometime in the near future. Rick Steves hosts a public broadcasting series called Rick Steves Europe. And he helps people visit Europe. I remember one story he was telling the other at one of the events. He was talking about his tours and how someone called up and said, "We heard you support ending marijuana prohibition and we hate you for that and we're canceling our tour." And he said, "I immediately thought, well, that's great because it would be a lot better tour without you on it."
Exactly.
You know?
So
that's Mr. Rick Steves.
A nice man. He's helped us at the Seattle Hemp Fest. He has.
He
He's signed, I know, at least the last 5 or 6 guitars I've given away up there on main
Right.
stage. He has been a supporter at our show, a speaker in Seattle, and also he is on the national board for National Normal.
Yeah,
but
he
he is a nice man. He's just as nice as he appears on television. He is.
We have a telephone question and a phone call. Welcome to our show, caller.
Hello, how are y'all tonight?
Good.
Pretty well. How about yourself?
Well, I'm doing good. Paul, we talked several times before, but this is an issue I've been hearing on your show regularly these days.
Okay.
And that's the pain contract situation.
Yes.
Now, I'm a registered nurse. I've been a patient of your clinics, doctors, for several years. And, you know, what's happening is like these doctors. You know, everybody's throwing it back to the FDA. The FDA has a lot. But these doctors have policies that they go by. I've just dealt with this. 10 years ago, I started my first pain contract. Okay? I've been able to work, been able to do all my things, still smoke, to help with augment
Sure.
the
It enhances
other
the other, painkillers as well.
Pardon?
You know, cannabis enhances the effect of other substances.
That too, yes. But to augment them is what, you know, how I mention it.
Right.
But so now I talked to a few weeks ago, and he said you should be on a red. Well, the first Kaiser doctor put me on. You know, well, the first 10 years ago I was on a green, and then all of a sudden you get this guy. He's freaking out. This doctor, and he tells another one of my care providers that I should be red because I smoke marijuana. I said no, and I signed either a yellow or a red because I'm a green by Kaiser's policy. And I showed him the policy. I let him know.
Oh, good. You educated him about Kaiser's policy. That's what I was about to talk about, because Kaiser has done the largest epidemiological study of cannabis in history. They looked at 600,000 people and came up with a report that's, half of them cannabis users and half of them that weren't, and said that people who use cannabis are less likely to have almost everything except bronchitis. There were more bronchitis cases for cannabis users. So less accidents, less cancers, less medical health problems.
Well,
so in general.
Being that I'm surrounded by that management along with other hospital management, but anyway, for that management, they're telling the doctors to just say no, and there's doctors there that want me to give them information on how they can say yes. You know. Now, what I'm trying
Well, I'll tell you what. Just call our office. Tell them to call our office at 503.
I want to distribute this information to these people. These people need to learn.
Yes.
Yeah, well, we'll be happy to help them. If they have any questions, you can have them call us. Here in Portland.
How about me calling you?
Sure.
Ah, great, because I need to get some stuff to these people.
All right.
And,
Let me give you that number. There it is on your screen. You're here in the Portland area, right?
Yeah, but I'm
so
not
it's
on the screen. But
503-235-4606. It's a standard number we give out here on the show all the time. 503-235-4606.
Well, I
you
really
can call
appreciate
and
you
get
talking
information
to me
you can take to them.
I really appreciate you talking to me about this because it's something that has been bothering me, and they're just going to make it worse and worse and worse on those chronic pain patients.
All right, well, we'll be happy to help. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, you got to fight for your rights, man.
That's right. All right, have a good night. All right, well, we're going to go on with our show and tell segment, even though I guess in school they don't call it show and tell anymore. Now it's sharing. So we're going to share some things with you. One of them is this new and nifty product from Nature's Path, which is a very common brand out there in the health food section. It's called Sunny Hemp. Hemp Plus bars. They're very tasty. They're highly nutritious, and
is that a marijuana leaf on the
it's
cover?
a big fat indica leaf right there. That's
is.
definitely not a sativa leaf, and it says it's got more of the good stuff.
Ooh.
So if you want some good stuff, you can get the trail mix organic chewy granola bars. Our new and improved line has upped the granola bar ante, all with the organic greatness you've come to expect from Nature's Path. Take these Sunny Hemp bars, for example. Nutty organic hemp seed and crunchy sunflower seeds are blended together for the good stuff. Anyway, next over here, this is an antique circa 1930 cannabis bottle, cobalt blue, nifty little top there, and it's from London, England, and it's a tincture of cannabis indica. I don't know how close the camera can get into that, but we'll see. Tincture of cannabis indica, and it's got the prescription thing on the back, and so that's it. And then next to it we have two. This one's a Eli Lilly extract, powdered extract of cannabis indica from Eli Lilly. This is circa 1910, and Eli Lilly had about 10 different cannabis preparations. This one was powdered keef, or powdered hashish, and it was offered in ounce bottles. And right next door we have a Park Davis ounce bottle of powdered keef. So see, Park Davis and Eli Lilly were competing in the powdered hashish market. You know, powdered hashish is really good stuff. You know, you don't need much of this to get this is the resin grands off the trichromes and the flowers. So this was an ounce in each bottle. Next door we have a big jug. This is a nice specimen from Park Davis, and it's a tincture of cannabis.
Wow,
that is a very nice example. It's number 14. Park Davis, just like Eli Lilly, had about 10 different cannabis preparations, 3 or 4 in liquid and some in combination with other products. You know, a moment ago on that video, Marijuana Time for a Conversation with Rick Steves in the ACLU, they talked about how since the lady from the Drug Policy Organization, Break the Chains, mentioned that there are several patients who get legal medical marijuana from the federal government since 1978, and this is one of them, the third person to get medical marijuana. This is one of the tins that she receives. She gets 300 joints a month from the United States government, and so she is a legal possessor of 6 pounds of marijuana a year, provided for free. And this is the label from the federal government right here, and it says when it was produced, which is like 1998, and they gave it out in 2004.
Which means
so,
it's very
yeah,
bad old
Yeah,
medicine.
it was old when they got it, but they're still giving out
right.
cannabis. It's more than 10 years old. But it's this is the prescription to our friend Elvie Masica.
Yes, indeed.
Elvie's a real blessing to our movement. Then next we have a little bale of hemp twine. This is a product of Hungary. Hungarian hemp twine has been imported continuously since World War II. Then right next to it, the Prairie Emerald Hemp Nuggets, hulled hemp seed. This stuff is very, very nutritious, very, very healthy from you. It's from Manitoba and Hemp Oil Canada, the largest producer of hemp seed and hemp oil products here in North America. So we're happy to end our hemp news segment there tonight with a nice little array of things to show and tell. We have another caller. Welcome to our show, caller. Or maybe we don't. We have a studio audience member. Hey, welcome to our show, studio audience member.
Hey, Paul, Tim.
Hey.
My question revolves around hemp stock this year.
Okay.
I've heard there's 2 stages.
There are the Jack Hare stage in the traditional location and the Todd Mickeria stage, which is going to be over in the back parking lot.
In that area.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we have expanded our footprint for hemp stock this year, indeed.
And the other thing I was curious about was I had heard that people who donate up to the VIP level, there's a Friday night party the day before.
We haven't established that yet, so you can keep that rumor out there. It's just fine.
Soon to be.
All right, thank you guys.
We haven't settled on the
There will
yet.
be lots of opportunities. We have another phone caller out there. Welcome to the show, caller.
How you doing?
Good.
Very well. How are you?
Excellent. I'm doing fine.
Good.
I have a quick question for you. As a medical marijuana grower, what can I do to increase the trichomes on the plant?
One thing is you can, during the flower cycle, give them a lot of potassium and phosphorus because they like potassium and phosphorus. And you can let them flower a longer period of time. More and more crystals will continue to develop. And in the whole trichrome profile changes. You know, a lot of people like to pick it at between 6 and 9 weeks when the trichromes are clear and crystal clear. After that, they start to turn amber, and then they start to turn other colors. Other people like to let them turn reds and blacks and purples after 10, 12, 13 weeks. So the longer you let it mature, the more the cannabinoid profile and the terpenes, which add the smell, the aromatic hydrocarbons, come out and develop. So, and then the other thing is to properly cure it, you know, to let it dry slowly in a cool, dark location for at least a week or two.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then keep it in glass when you're done.
To expand on that, I prefer myself to get it early when they're just like going cloudy.
Right. Yeah.
So that I can like smoke pretty much all day and never like pass out from smoking.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
How
true. Once they get a little
that
bit older, it becomes more of a sleepy narcotic.
Right.
Better for pain
Right.
relief, but not so
What-
good for staying awake.
What can I do for the shorter period like that to increase the trichomes as much as I can? Like, does UV light really make that much of a difference?
You know, UV light, they say, does help. I really can't speak to that with any degree of knowledge. Maybe I'll try to bring that up the next time we have Jorge Cervantes or some other person here on the show that might know. But I definitely know that the resins of cannabis are definitely a response that protects the pistils and seed sites in the flowers. So the more resin that's there, it's to protect it from UV radiation. So that might help, but I can't speak to it with any degree of certainty.
Okay, so just the potassium supplements and
Potassium and phosphorus, cut back on the nitrogen, water thoroughly. Don't give it fertilizer in the last 2 weeks before you harvest. Just give it straight water.
Excellent. Good tips. Good conversation. Thank you guys for doing excellent.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for your call.
You may very well see me like on Monday. Maybe I could like volunteer some time.
Come on down. You know, I'm glad you brought that up. Thanks for bringing that up.
Excellent.
We are kicking off our petition drive. I want to remind you out there, we have the new petitions. They were just approved yesterday. They are out, and if you come on down on Monday, we're trying to get you in at 9:30 a.m. at 2712 Northeast Sandy Boulevard. That's our new petition location. Our headquarters is there at 2712 Northeast Sandy Boulevard. You can go to that website, and we'll be giving everyone who comes in to get a volunteer petition a I'm a volunteer petitioner button. So come on down, get your petitions, get your free I'm a volunteer petitioner button, and help us change the world. And we're also looking for resumes if you're interested in being a paid petitioner. We're starting off with a couple of paid petitioners, and we'll be adding more as financing allows. So, but in the interim, we're trying to line up volunteer petitioners. So come on down, and we'll have a big press conference at 9:30 a.m. Monday morning, the 28th of March, right here in River City at 2712 Northeast Sandy Boulevard, and we hope to see you there. And if you want more information, call us at 503-235-4606.
It is time to change the world.
It's time to change the world.
Indeed.
It's dying to get better.
It is, unfortunately.
We have a text message saying, hey, remind people we're about to, from Mike Magliotti, who's been a longtime patient of ours and friend who's going to be helping us in Arizona. So reminding us we're opening new offices in Phoenix, Arizona, Flagstaff, and Tucson. So we'll let you know. We're coming to see you
another state
in Arizona.
Very good.
That's true.
We have a lot of friends in Arizona. That should be nice.
Yeah, and a lot of our patients who've moved there, and so the law there is going to set up immediately take licenses. The rules are coming out on Monday.
Oh, good.
Same day as our conference.
Right along.
They're going to have the new rules out to start licensing 125 commercial dispensaries all across the state.
And they have how many people vying for those 125?
Probably 1,000.
Or
Probably
more?
there's 1,000 or more different people. It's a gold rush, a green gold rush.
How are they going to do that? Are they going to have a lottery, or
It's
a
gonna.
draw?
We'll just
or
have to see. I mean,
first come, first serve.
we'll find out when the
each?
rules come out on Monday
There you go.
exactly how
Okay.
they're going to do that. But I know a lot of local municipalities have been zoning places, saying you can't have a dispensary within 600 feet of a residence,
cactus.
or 1,000 or 1,200 feet of a school or anything.
Or 700
And
feet of
so-
a cactus.
Yeah.
Which is difficult in Arizona.
We have another caller. Welcome to our show, caller.
Nope.
No, we don't have a caller.
Never mind for that.
But you could call in. We've got maybe 3 minutes left. We won't be able to take many calls at this point. 4 minutes to go. So as Tim prepares to jump over and put on his other hat to play some music, I'll remind you out there, first of all, if you need help finding a doctor who can help you get a medical marijuana permit, we have a referral, and you can help find doctors all across the ocean and the continent and the United States. You can call us at 1-800-723-0188, wherever you are in the United States, at 1-800-723-0188. If you're here in the Portland area, call us at 503-235-4606. Now, you can also call us about our new petition drive that's kicking off. Come on down to our press conference at 2712 Northeast Sandy Boulevard, or go there to the website. You can actually print off the petition, a one-signature petition, on our website. I don't know if that's in place yet, but that's one of the things that will be there in the very near future. So that's the end of our show tonight. I want to thank you for watching and spending another hour with us. Tune in next week. We're going to go out with the music of Mr. Tim Pate and Jonathan Eater and some wonderful pictures from our THCF medicinal gardens. We look forward to seeing you back here next week, and help us restore hemp. Good night.
See you next week, folks.